Namaskar, good afternoon. You are watching Rajya Sabha Television. I am Smriti Rastogi with Midday News. Let's begin the bulletin with the headlines. Second coronavirus death in India, 10 of the 83 confirmed cases discharged. Government notifies hand sanitizers and surgical masks as essential commodities. US Embassy consulates in India cancel all visa appointments from 16th March. Prime Minister Narendra Modi calls upon SAARC nations for joint action to tackle coronavirus pandemic. SAARC nations welcome initiative. Pakistan too agrees to participate in a video conference. US declares national emergency, announces $50 billion fund for battling coronavirus epidemic. Germany releases biggest economic aid package since Second World War. 250 die of infection in Italy in a day. WHO calls Europe the new epicenter of pandemic. Rajya Sabha records 82.6% productivity in second week of second half of budget session. Skips lunch for 3 hours and 58 minutes. Passes IBC Amendment Bill and Mineral Laws Amendment Bill. Relief for Yes Bank depositors. Government notifies Yes Bank reconstruction scheme. Says a moratorium on Yes Bank to be lifted by March 18th. Prashant Kumar to be the MD and CEO of the new board. In the second death linked to the global pandemic COVID-19, a 68-year-old woman died in Delhi yesterday. The Health Ministry confirmed the death of the woman from West Delhi who had come in contact with her son who had contracted the virus after traveling to Switzerland and Italy last month. The woman also suffered from diabetes and hypertension. Her sample was collected on Sunday and her condition worsened a day later. The Health Ministry has also so far confirmed 83 cases across the country, out of which 10 have recovered.
We now have 81 confirmed cases of COVID-19 in the country. Of these, 3 from Kerala were treated and discharged. In addition, 7 more from Safdarjung have also recovered. Of these confirmed cases, 64 cases are of Indian nationals, 16 Italian nationals, and 1 Canadian national. Contact tracing of these cases is being actively pursued. So far, this has led to identification of more than 4,000 contacts who have been put under surveillance. Death of a 76-year-old male from Karnataka is confirmed to be caused due to comorbidities, that is asthma and hypertension, and he also tested positive for COVID-19. All the precautionary measures as per protocol, such as screening and home quarantine of the contact, has been initiated by the State Health Department of Karnataka and is being closely monitored. It is reiterated that Indian nationals are strongly advised to avoid all non-essential travel abroad and refrain from traveling to countries reporting high cases and deaths as mentioned in our travel advisories. All incoming international passengers returning to India should self-monitor their health and follow the required do's and don'ts as detailed by government.
And 21 passengers who were stranded in coronavirus hit Italy were brought to Kochi today, following which they were shifted to Alua Hospital for investigation. An Air India flight will also fly to Milan today to bring back around 200 to 250 Indians stranded in the Italian city. Earlier this week, government suspended all visas, barring a few categories like diplomatic and employment, in an attempt to prevent the spread of coronavirus.
See, these students are quite dispersed. They're around many places in Italy, but I think priority is right now Milan, where our students are stranded in and around Milan. So the number that we are getting in consultation with our ambassador and the consul general in Milan is about 220 or so. So that's our priority to bring them. But subsequently, I'm sure and we will look around if there are any other students who are left behind, and they will be advised to contact our missions, and we will aggregate that number and see what next we can do about that.
Several states across India have gone into battle mode to contain the spread of COVID-19. States of Himachal Pradesh, Bihar, Uttar Pradesh, Haryana, Punjab, Maharashtra, Odisha and Karnataka have ordered immediate closure of all educational institutions, gymnasiums, swimming pools, coaching centres, cinema theatres and other public places till 31st of March. The government have indicated that more steps could be taken in the next few days following a review of the situation. And as a precautionary measure, Kerala government has launched 2 robots to spread awareness about the virus. One robot distributes face masks, sanitizers and napkins for better cough hygiene. The other robot screens details about the World Health Organization's campaign to contain the pandemic. It will also clean the doors. Meanwhile, in efforts to boost supply and prevent hoarding, the government on Friday declared face masks and hand sanitizers as essential commodities for the next 100 days. And for more inputs, we'll go across to our correspondent Anu Diwan, who is joining us from Delhi. Anu, a situation which has plagued the world at the moment, and WHO has declared it a global pandemic. Various efforts are being made by the government in India as well and all the other countries. In India, various states are taking efforts to combat the spread of this virus, the coronavirus, the COVID-19. What latest inputs do we have on the status, the situation of coronavirus?
Definitely, Smriti, after the situation, we have seen that 2 deaths in India have been reported till now, and 1 more case in the morning has been reported by the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. So up till now, there are 83 cases, out of which 10 patients have totally recovered and 2 have died. So the tally goes up to 83 total in all, and we have seen that the ministry is taking efforts day by day and will be taking a review and is taking daily review of the situation, and we are expecting that further more steps will be taken by the ministry, as ministry has already given an advice for home quarantine if there are any suspected patient, also screening at all the major ports or airports or railway stations or public places, sanitizations of all the public places. Even the state governments have ordered closure of mostly places like cinema halls, schools, colleges and other public events, and banned all the public events up to March 31st till the situation is totally under control or the coronavirus totally eradicated from the country. So the government and the central government and state governments here we are seeing that are working together to control or to break the chain of coronavirus in the country, and Smriti, also to provide mask and hand sanitizer to the public. Government has made it essential in the list of essential commodities so that people can avail it easily. State governments can have a right to provide it at a cheaper rate and prevent black marketing and hoardings. Till this rule will be implemented till June 30th, just because in the last few days we have seen that the black marketing and the unavailability of the surgical mask and other mask and hand sanitizer were not available to the public, due to which the public was in a chaos and under a frightening situation. So seeing to this, the government has taken initiatives putting it into an Essential Commodity Act so that it is available to each and every citizen of the country.
Right. Thank you so much, Anu, for joining us and giving us all those details. So indeed, a situation for which state and central governments are working in coordination to contain the spread of the COVID-19. Several precautionary measures have been taken by the government to contain the spread of this virus. Some more developments. Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Friday proposed formulation of a joint strategy by the SAARC nations to fight the coronavirus, a suggestion backed by all member states. In a tweet, the Prime Minister said that the planet is battling the COVID-19 virus, and at various levels, governments and people are trying their best to combat it. He added that South Asia, which is a home to a significant number of the global population, should leave no stone unturned to ensure the people are healthy. And leaders of other SAARC nations were quick to endorse Prime Minister Narendra Modi's proposal. Bhutan's Prime Minister Lotte Tshering said in a tweet that all SAARC nations must come together in such times. Tshering called for coordination among SAARC nations as smaller economies are hit harder due to the pandemic. And welcoming the proposal, Sri Lankan President Gotabaya Rajapaksa said, Sri Lanka is ready to join the discussion, share its learning and best practices as well as to learn from other SAARC members. Rajapaksa called upon leaders to unite in solidarity during their trying times and keep country's citizens safe. And Nepalese Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli also welcomed the proposal and said that his government was ready to work closely with SAARC member states to protect people from this deadly disease. And responding to the proposal, Maldivian President thanked Prime Minister Modi for taking the initiative on this important endeavour. He said COVID-19 requires a collective effort to defeat it. He added that Maldives will fully support such a regional effort. And in some positive news, even as the virus spreads across the world, a group of 112 evacuees taken from Wuhan in China and housed at ITBP quarantine facility in New Delhi have started dispersing after being found negative of the coronavirus. 2 tests, first on day 1 and second on day 14 of the quarantine, were conducted in which all samples have been found negative. Minister of State for Home Nityanand Rai and Director General of the ITBP met the inmates at the facility. This was the second batch to have positively cleared the quarantine at the ITBP Centre since the global outbreak of the virus.
मैं ITBP को इसके लिए आभार व्यक्त करना चाहूँगा कि उन्होंने कोरोना वायरस से संदिग्ध लोगों की जांच, क्वारंटाइन पीरियड में यहाँ लाए गए ऐसे लोगों को अच्छी सेवा, अच्छा माहौल, परिवार जैसा माहौल और वह समय बहुत एक अच्छे वातावरण में उस पीरियड को गुजार सके.
Cases in most of the countries, but our country's efforts, government efforts, whether it is central government or state governments and all agencies coming together and working as a team, they have facilitated our own citizens around the globe. The government is willing and making efforts to evacuate our own citizens from all parts of the globe, from all countries.
And the Chappell Hadley one-day series between Australia and New Zealand stands cancelled amid the coronavirus pandemic. The decision was taken in response to the New Zealand government's latest travel restrictions, forcing members of the Australia cricket team to return home immediately. Yesterday, BCCI too decided to postpone the Indian Premier League 2020 till 15th of April in wake of the COVID-19 pandemic. The IPL was pushed to April 15th from its scheduled March 29 start. The India Open Badminton Tournament was also suspended at least till April 12th after the sport's world governing body decided to halt all events from 16th of March. And the deadly coronavirus, which originated in the Chinese city of Wuhan in December last year, has infected more than 134,000 people globally. China reported 13 new coronavirus deaths, taking the toll due to the disease to 3,189, while the confirmed cases climbed to 80,824, with 11 more infections as the country witnessed a rise in imported cases. 13 deaths were reported in the Hubei province, the epicenter of the disease. And considering the global coronavirus situation, US President Donald Trump announced a national state of emergency. freeing up to $50 billion in federal funds for the battle against the fast-spreading pandemic. He called on all the US states to set up emergency operations centers and said that the government was accelerating testing. Novel coronavirus has claimed 41 lives in the US. The deadly virus, which has killed over 5,000 people globally, has spread to 46 of the 50 US states, with nearly 2,000 cases being reported from across the country. Meanwhile, Trump has said that he will most likely be tested for the coronavirus, stressing that he had displayed no symptoms. This after he met a Brazilian official last weekend who was found positive for the virus later. Trump also announced that major cruise lines would suspend trips from the US ports for 30 days amid the coronavirus pandemic that has hit several vessels. Also, the Indian Embassy in the US asked the large Indian students community to avoid all non-essential domestic and international travel. More than 100 college and universities, including the Massachusetts Institute of Technology and the Harvard University, have also suspended in-person teaching and announced to shift to online classes. In France, another 18 people have died from the coronavirus over the last 24 hours, bringing the total deaths from the virus to 79. Another 154 people were still in a serious condition, while the total number of people infected with the virus jumped to 3,661. Meanwhile, Spain's government is to declare a state of alert over the rapid spread of the deadly coronavirus after infections soared to 4,200 with 120 deaths. A cabinet meeting is set to declare a state of alert across the country for a period of 15 days. And Italy on Friday recorded its highest one-day death toll yet from cases of new coronavirus. There were 250 deaths recorded over the past 24 hours, taking the total to 1,266 with 17,660 infections overall, a rise of 2,547 since Thursday evening. Saudi Arabia has extended its travel ban to include the European Union and 12 other countries, including India, as the number of coronavirus cases in the kingdom jumped to 62. There are 11 foreign nationals among the people who contracted the virus. Meanwhile, the German government on Friday unleashed the biggest economic and aid package in the country's post-war history, offering companies unlimited credit to keep them afloat during the coronavirus crisis. And the World Health Organization said that Europe was now the epicenter of the global coronavirus pandemic and warned it was impossible to know when the outbreak would peak. And with that, we'll slip into a very quick break. More news and updates on the other side. Stay with us.
The duration of home quarantine period is 14 days. During this period, a home quarantine person should stay in a well-ventilated single room, preferably with a separate toilet. The person must maintain a distance of at least 1 meter from other family members. The person needs to stay away from elderly people, pregnant women and children. Must have restricted movement within the house and must not attend any social or religious gathering under any circumstances. A home quarantine person should wash hands often, thoroughly with soap and water or with alcohol-based hand sanitizer. Avoid sharing household items, for example, dishes, drinking glasses, cups, eating utensils, towels, bedding or other items. Wear a surgical disposable mask at all times. However, if symptoms like cough, fever, difficulty in breathing appear, the person should immediately inform the nearest healthcare center or call 011 239 78046. Family members of the home quarantined person should avoid shaking the soiled linen or direct contact with skin. Use disposable gloves while cleaning the surfaces or handling soiled linen. Wash hands after removing gloves. Must not allow visitors to meet the person in quarantine. In case the person being quarantined becomes symptomatic, all his close contacts will be home quarantined for 14 days or till the report of such case turns out negative. The environment around the home quarantined person must be regularly sanitized as well. This means cleaning and disinfecting frequently touched surfaces in the quarantined person's room, cleaning and disinfecting toilet surfaces daily, cleaning clothes and other linen used by the person separately.
Welcome back after the break. Rajya Sabha transacted substantial business during the second week of the second half of the budget session. After a mere 9.5% productivity during the first week, Rajya Sabha reported 82.6% productivity during the second week. The House lost 5 hours and 51 minutes but sat extra, resulting in an effective loss of only 1 hour and 53 minutes. The House passed the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Amendment Bill 2020 and the Mineral Laws Amendment Bill 2019 this week. The Direct Tax Vivad Se Vishwas Bill 2020 was introduced, discussed and returned to Lok Sabha on 13th March 2020. The House also held a short duration discussion on the recent law and order situation in some parts of Delhi, which lasted for 4 hours and 15 minutes. And 10 private members' bills were also introduced during this period. In some other news, the government has notified a reconstruction scheme for Yes Bank and has appointed current administrator Prashant Kumar as the managing director and CEO of the newly reconstructed board. The Yes Bank Reconstruction Scheme 2020 shall come into force on 13th of March. The notification stated that the moratorium on Yes Bank will be lifted at 6 p.m. on 18th of March. The notification comes a day after Union Cabinet approved the reconstruction scheme, under which the State Bank of India will acquire 49% stake in the bank. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman said that authorized capital of the lender has been raised from 1,100 crore rupees to 6,200.
Getting some of the points which will be of interest. State Bank of India will invest up to 49% of the equity. Other investors are also being invited, and quite a lot of engagement by the RBI is happening to bring in other investors also. There will be a 3-year lock-in period for SBI for up to only 26% of the 49% that they are investing. And for the rest of the investors, it will be lock-in for 3 years of 75% of their investment. So the authorized capital itself has been raised from 1,100 crores to 6,200 crores, so that we can accommodate immediate and also subsequent raising of capital requirements.
And Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman is holding the 39th meeting of the Goods and Services Tax Council. Minister of State for Finance Anurag Thakur and finance ministers from states and union territories and other senior officials are attending this meeting. The council is expected to correct the inverted duty structure, which taxes inputs at a higher rate than output, that has resulted in blocked credits for manufacturers. Among other decisions, the GST rate on mobile phones is proposed to be increased from 12% to 18%. The council would also consider increasing tax on fabric from 5% to 12% in sync with the man-made filament or spun yarn. And 45 years after he founded Microsoft, Bill Gates has stepped down from the board of directors to devote more time to philanthropy. He said he wants to focus on global health and development, education and tackling climate change, and will dedicate more of his time to his charity, the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. The 64-year-old stopped being involved in day-to-day operations at the firm more than a decade ago. Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella said that Microsoft will continue to benefit from Gates' technical passion and advice in his continuing role as a technical advisor. With an estimated net worth of over $100 billion, Gates is the second richest person in the world after Amazon's Jeff Bezos. He co-founded Microsoft in 1975 with Paul Allen. Gates left his CEO position in 2000, handing the company reins to Steve Ballmer to devote more time to his charitable foundation. He gave up the role of chairman at the same time, and Satya Nadella became Microsoft's third CEO in 2014. And that's all we have for you in this edition. Thank you for watching. Namaskar.